Today on DIY Will It Work, I have a WowGo free Hobbywing ESC and I'm hoping to make this work with an old 2020 Varial F1. So in case you're wondering what's the compatibility differences between these, Varial has been using the same Hobbywing ESC with bullet connectors on their Varial F1 model since 2020, even up until now, which I'm surprised at. Likewise, a couple of years ago, and even now I think, WowGo use Hobbywing ESCs. The only difference is these use XT30 connectors, which is much better for heat dissipation, and as you can see I got myself some converter cables for the old hub motors. As for these hub motors, they've been revised 3 times on the Varial F1 system, to the point now where these are identical, and I mean identical, to the ones used by WowGo and Meepo. They both have the same wheel sleeve. But the main difference between WowGo, Meepo and Varial is that Meepo stuck with the Ling-Yi ESC and then more recently switched to Lycaon ESC, which is kind of a hybrid between Ling-Yi and Hobbywing, in which it retains the push to start and the wheel lock function. A good way of remembering which way the motors go in terms of the cables is to remember that they usually crisscross over. So right would go to left and left would go to right. And then get your ESC in the same orientation as the other one, usually having the capacitors on the right hand side. And likewise, when these motors crisscrossed, the right motor and the left cable now would go to the top connectors, and vice versa. Left, which is crossed over to right, would go onto the lower connectors. Remember to put the plastic tubes over the bullet connectors. I didn't do this last time and unfortunately it shorted out the ESC. Bearing in mind I had a lot of these, 12 to be exact, so it could have been any of those. Hopefully, because I've remembered the plastic tubing, it won't go boom. The last 2 steps are just to attach the power button into the center of the ESC, like so, and then I'll go get my remote and we can see if this goes boom or not when I connect the XT60 power connectors to the main battery. Moment of truth, will it work or will it go boom? There's only one way to find out. A little pop, that's normal. Alright, moment of truth, let's switch it on, let's see what goes. Okay, no issues, it's running properly, tiny bit of a hum, that's normal. It didn't pop like it did before. Let's switch the remote on and pair it. Board needs repairing, so to do that I hold down the power button until it stops flashing or flashes differently. Okay, it's flashing. Hold the power button on the remote. Paired. There seems to be an intermittent issue when pairing to the Varial F1 hub motors, in which only one motor spins and then the other one locks, and then other times they both spin at the same time. See? Not good. Hasn't worked out the way I hoped. However, I'm still confident that this might work with a TeamGee H20 or H22. Haven't got one of those to try, but apparently some people have done that and it works. Let's call this one E-Skate Myth Busted. A WowGo free ESC cannot be used on a Varial F1. It could just be because these are newer motors, but unlikely to be because of the bigger battery. However, seems I'll have to go back to using the bullet connector equivalent, which is a shame. I could attempt to use the Meepo bullet to XT30 connectors, maybe that would help. My last 2 tests are to see if, like the Varial F1 ESC, which could be paired with my oldest Ling-Yi hub motors, can I possibly do the same using the WowGo free ESC? Failing that, I want to know, can the WowGo free ESC be used to upgrade Ling-Yi ESC in a Yecoo MTS. This time I've done the smart thing and actually bolted down the trucks, so when I do a brake test it's not going to fly across the room. Moment of truth, let's reconnect this battery and see what it do. Didn't go pop, that's good. switch on the remote, which should be automatically paired. Okay, let's see what the motors do. Huh. So they run perfectly fine forwards. Let's see what happens when they go backwards. Okay, it doesn't do the rotational error when braking, that's good. So that's good to know. I've got a use for this WowGo free ESC now, which is for my older discontinued hub motors. As you can see, they are quite old. Barely anyone uses these anymore. For good reason, you couldn't swap the wheels easily. You had to cut them off, or they were completely part of it with the magnets on the inside. I've connected the ESC to different Yecoo MTS motors. I'm going to connect it to the battery and hopefully nothing goes boom. So far so good, it didn't go pop. That's a good sign. I'll just pair the remote. They spin as they should. One motor is going as the other one should. No reverse braking errors, so that's confirmed. I can upgrade the Yecoo MTS ESC with a WowGo free. The original ESC was very gradual, very slow, whereas this one should have a bit more torque. Can I put the WowGo free ESC into the Yecoo MTS enclosure? As you can see, it's got a bit of a heat sink and a crap ton of thermal paste. Stock power button doesn't fit into the ESC. Completely different size. As you can see, different wires, different plugs, and so yeah, I just got to swap that out. It's all bolted in as it should be, the new power plug, and hopefully it'll go okay. I've lost the ability to push start this board. I've lost the adjustable brake modes, but what I have gained is significantly smoother braking curve, definitely more responsive acceleration, which is what I wanted, instead of it being a where's the torque situation. Overall, I think it's just exactly what I wish this board would have been when it's put onto a longer skateboard deck. The original ESC is fine if it's on a short board. That gradual takeoff is what you want, instead of it backflipping you into the air. But for these results, that's great to see. It's very similar to a Lycaon GR with the revised ESC. It does put in a different ESC inside this to stop the voltage sag that I was getting, or is that strictly down to the battery that was on it? If I'm not mistaken, I think it's a Samsung battery, so I guess we'll find out. One more point to make, the old Ling-Yi ESCs, unfortunately you could accidentally jump out of speed modes by quickly using the throttle. Not good. However, thankfully you can't do that with the Hobbywing ESC, so for those who constantly go on and off, braking, stopping fastly, it won't skip gears, which is not what you want.